All right, Daryl, let's talk about Brett Favre for a minute.
Okay.
As we all know and seen, I had talked about LeBron James last week and the frustration of the frustration, the tweet that he put out, and it wasn't what he put out, it was how people were responding to it. So I talked about him last week, and I think the week before last, I talked about the actual verdict of Derek Chavin and the reactions around the world. And during that week, I had forgot to mention Brett Favre because I needed to talk about him. So today, even though it is way beyond past time, I need to say something about Brett Favre because this very much annoyed me. Brett Favre believed in the Derek Chauvin case that he did not mean to kill George Floyd. Now, when I saw that headline, because he said this on his podcast, Bowling with Favre. Now, when I saw that, that put quite a few things into my mind. But the one thing I had to ask is, what in your right mind made you think that he didn't mean to kill him? So you mean to tell me for 9 minutes and 29 seconds, he didn't mean to kill him? For majority of those minutes, he kept saying, I can't breathe. Mama, help me. I can't breathe. So you mean to tell me when he said that he didn't mean to kill him? He didn't take his knee off his neck. So you mean to tell me he didn't kill him? Didn't mean to? What video was you watching? What was you watching? For real, bro, I really want to know. What video are you watching? Because I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to pinpoint what is it that made you think in your right mind that he didn't mean to kill him. But then you go on to say this, which also annoyed me because it didn't make sense. You also go off to say this. You're not defending Derek Chavin in any way. But I find it hard to believe, first of all, that he intentionally meant to kill George Floyd. That being said, his actions were uncalled for. I don't care what color the person is on the street. I don't know what led to that video we saw where his knee was on his neck, but the man had thrown in the towel. So I'm thinking, what are you watching? Because you don't know what led up to it. I don't think it mattered what it led up to. The main point of that video is this. He put his knee on his neck for 9 minutes and 29 seconds. And you're telling me in your confusing statement that he intentionally meant to kill George Floyd? You find that hard to believe. But yet and still, you say his actions was uncalled for. Bruh, which one is it? Which one is it? Because I'm confused. Your words took some backlash, not just on that, but also this in what you said. He wants politics out of sports. That's his opinion, and he's sticking to it. Oh, you damn right it's your opinion, because nobody gives a damn what you think, just because of the fact is that politics are a part of athletes' everyday life. Athletes have the right to bring it in if they want to. So here's the thing. If politicians could be part of sports, then damn it, athletes could be part of politics. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I've been sitting here trying to think about that for the longest. So if you think it should be put out, Black people have to live their lives outside that football field. Black people have to live their life on the football field because they still get racial slurs hurled at them. So then he goes on to say that he is not a racist in spite what made people think. Okay, so it's not what we think. It's what we know based on your words. So here's the thing. Is Brett Farve a racist? Let's see. If you're not thinking or asking the question if you are a racist, then you are a racist. If you're not even considering it, if you're not thinking about it, if you're not willing to educate yourself, you're a racist. Plain and simple. Just because you have black friends do not mean that you are racist. It don't mean that that's your card to pass on. Oh, I'm not a racist. I got black friends. You don't understand what they're going through right now. But you're saying that politics need to stay out of sports because Colin Kaepernick kneeled during the national anthem. A lot of people think that it's because of the national anthem he kneels. No, it's what's being said in the national anthem. With liberty and justice for all. But yet and still, we have so many black lives that has been killed all because of it. Because we also have so much Asian hate that there's no justice. Are you flipping for real right? Are you flipping for real right now? So ask yourself these questions. If you think, or if you're thinking, or asking the question if you're a racist, ask yourself these questions. Are you surprised when you meet a black person who commands the language of speech or writing is the highest order? 2, do you assume that when you meet a black person in an athlete competition, that he or she will be stronger or faster than you? 3, do you feel any anxiety when a group of black men walk down the street towards you, or a twinge of fear when a black man checks your gas meter or does home repairs? If you answer yes to any of these questions, then you're a racist. You may not want to hear that, but that's the actual truth. Because here's another truth. Another truth is that we all have a hurl of racism in us. That's a truth. A lot of us and all of us have some form of racism. But if you have not sat down and thought about, you know what, am I a racist? Then you're a racist. Plain simple. You're a racist. I cannot put it any bolder and any clearer than that. What's your thoughts?
Brett Lorenzo Favre. The Brett Favre that I know, the Super Bowl champion for the Green Bay Packers, 3-time NFL MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, made it to a few first team, second teams, 11-time Pro Bowler. He's a 4-time NFL passing touchdowns leader, and he's an NFL passing yards leader. 2-time at that. And to bear the question of who this broad character, I know Brett Favre that I just mentioned from the stats. Everything I just mentioned from the stats, that's the Brett Favre I have seen. The man that was a phenomenal football player. That was the best to ever do. One of the best to do. And now we're looking at another Brett Favre that decides that he's going to go ahead and embarrass himself on his own podcast, stating that Derek Chavin didn't mean to kill George Floyd, where there was so much video and evidence and everything that was so overwhelming that he seen that this man intentionally killed George Floyd. But for you to say that he didn't mean to, it bears the question, what are you looking at? Like you said, what video are you looking at? He also fails to see that the police are also looking into other incidents, the same incidents that he did with George Floyd. And he didn't mean to kill him? Dear, that don't make sense. No. You said it don't make sense.
It don't.
You can't grasp what one man could think and be turning a blind eye on what you actually. It don't work like that. You don't turn a blind eye, then you think you just go and just make an outrageous statement like that, especially on your own podcast. You embarrass yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You embarrass yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're confusing. You're everything that everybody else can stand for when it comes down to civilists and activists and civil rights and all that.
Mm-hmm.
You're an embarrassment. You don't help the situation. You never will help this situation unless you decide you're going to help yourself. That's how I feel about that.
It's sad because a lot of people don't realize that they're part of the problem and not part of the solution.
Exactly. Because I do. If I was a Republican to sit there and say the same thing Brett Farve did, what kind of backlash do you think I would have gotten in the black community?
Here's the thing, and now that you mention that, Tim Scott. Now, mind you, and I wasn't going to say that, but you brought it up, so I got to say it now. Mind you, he went on in response to Joe Biden's congressional joint meeting. He went on.
Yeah.
Now, he went on and responded by saying that America is not a racist country, but yet still a Democratic member of the House, I think it's the House or the Senate, called him an Oreo, heard him a racial slur, but America and the racists. Gotcha. A-okay. Gotcha. Where do we sit right now when people think that, it's not racist, but it's just work that needs to be done? Yeah, work needs to be done, but you literally just got called a racial slur, but yet and still, America's not racist. Balance this out here. Balance this out. Do it make sense?
I'm going to reply to that in two different reactions to one person. The first reaction is this. The second one is this. Are you for real right now? Are you for real?
It brings up a lot.
That's crazy.
And in a sneak preview, let's be real. I talked about that with Candace Owens as well. I didn't mention Tim Scott, but I sure talked about it with Candace Owens, talking about that America ain't racist. But as you dig in and dig deep, you gonna learn that she believed at one point in time that America was a racist country based on what had happened to her. It just goes to show that fame and money is more important than your morals and your self-worth of yourself to gain the knowledge that you need to understand that what's in front of you is what's in front of you. What we saw with George Floyd in that video is what we saw. A lot of people are turning their backs and saying, no, that's not what happened. A lot of people looking up at the sky right now and saying, oh, it's purple. No, it's blue. Distractions.
I listen to your podcast too. And one thing I'm going to point out is that when I listen to that podcast, I listen to your podcast, I hear a lot of truth. I hear a lot of facts. I hear a lot of things that could really sit with people, even if they want to admit it or not. Mm-hmm. Even if they want to admit to the fact that what's being said is true, they ain't gonna believe it. That's what your podcast is really just doing right now. If that's what it's doing,
Mhm.
people are going to deny what's going on. And like you said, if you're really open-minded about listening to this, you're more than welcome to. But if you're not, then there's no place for you in it. Period.
It ain't for a lot of people. I can tell you that right now, and that's fine
Yeah.
because that lets me know that they're not ready to face the truth. Instead, they want me to face this truth of America's not racist, black accountability, things like that. Okay, I got
Stuff like
something for
that.
you. Just take a
Mhm.
listen. It might open up your mind, but then again, it might stay so close-minded because you want money, you want fame, you want things that can help you advance the ladder instead of understanding the truth, the facts, your self-worth, your self-respect, your respect to the fact that you can see the truth, that you can see the evidence, that you can see the facts, and be willing to speak and be uncomfortable about it. And that's what most Black people are afraid of, just because they want the fame and the money, not the self-worth and self-respect to be uncomfortable and have these conversations to help kill it. Anything else you want to add?
I will say this. I thought we was doing a podcast. This just turned straight into church.
Say that one more time. I'm sorry.
Now, I was just saying, I'm just going to say that I thought we was doing a podcast. This just turned straight into church.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
True.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got.